Hi, this is Jamie Steinberg with Starry Constellation Magazine. It's such an honor to speak with you and a pleasure that you are a part of this incredible project on behalf of the Jewish community.
Glad to be here. Thanks for making time.
Andres is seen as someone who deeply sort of hated the prisoners and was tasked with taking away their defiance. Is that how he was sort of presented to you, or maybe in the research you did for this too?
I mean, I think part of the assignment was to put aside your personal feelings for the prisoners and make sure that justice was done. That was the assignment. But it had been a long war, and all of us had felt the devastation. Um, Not just the war crimes, but battle fatigue, etc. So there wasn't a person in that situation that wasn't affected by it, and I think to a person, it was their job to put that aside and follow the assignment that was given.
He brings in Kelly to assess these prisoners and make sure, I guess, they're competent to stand trial. Talk about working with Rami to figure out that dynamic and have him bringing him in to sort of assess these prisoners and find out. I guess he's trying to psychoanalyze them to see what their motivations were and make sure they're okay to proceed. Is that what your idea of what his role was in this prison?
The assignment was that came from above me. It wasn't, I say to him, it wasn't my idea because it doesn't, to me, sound like a great situation. But his assignment was to determine and confirm the physical and mental well-being of the prisoners to stand trial. The trial was to have the eyes of the world on it, and it was very important that no mistakes be made. Each of the prisoners had their own counsel, and it was we were instructed to make sure that everything was done above board so that no one could claim any malfeasance was performed during the trial, and that was why Doug Kelly was brought in.
Watching Russell Crowe as Goring must have been visceral and sort of just an actor's dream to watch him perform. What was it like for you seeing him embody this role?
It was immediately impressive. He has that deep, sonorous voice that echoed off the walls in the prison. And he was also very game for anything that like for example, I had to I don't know what the spoiler situation is on this, so I don't want to give it away. But there's a point at which I have to physically um, grab him and shake him and in a rage basically, and there I crushed his knee at one point. I sat on his hand. I spit in his face. I mean, that we were going at it, and he was sort of having to take a lot of it. And but he understood that the character I was playing was in an emotional state, so he just went with all of it. And it was a little intimidating in the beginning because I really had to throttle him a couple times. And you know, I mean, the guy's an institution, and I didn't want to do any damage.
This is such a powerful film. What did you personally take away from your time working on the film?
I think the bar was pretty high as far as the cast and the obligation to tell the story in a responsible, respectful way. Um, Much like the I think the pressure that the characters felt, that all of whom were actual people. Some were composites, but I'm sure they felt the pressure to the eyes of the world were on this trial, and and there was a distinct pressure and obligation to carry out the assignment to the letter.
There must have been hard days for you on set, and shaking off these roles, was that difficult for you after all these years, or is it still or is it seamless for you at this point?
Despite the material, we had a great time. We were in Budapest. We were pretty much all staying in the same hotel. We would meet for dinner. Um, Richard E. Grant was determined to have dinner out every night somewhere, and he had been to Budapest many times, so he knew the city very well. Um, and we all had a good time. I mean, maybe it was purposeful sort of comic relief, but because of the depth of the material and just to catch a break. But we actually had a lot of laughs and a good time.
It's just an exceptional, another dramatic role for you. And these roles sort of find their way to you and you embody them so well. It's always a pleasure to see you step into these intense and beautiful roles, but I'm looking forward to seeing you in some more comedies in the near future, hopefully.
Yeah, there's a couple of comedies in the pipeline. Um, I don't know. I don't feel like I get a part like this. I wasn't sure if I could pull it off, this part, because I'm not really the blustery type. Um, and I had to I actually had a conversation with Jamie Vanderbilt saying, if you want me to play this like, the square-jawed, ramrod straight leader of men, I'm not sure I can pull that off. And then he said, you do it in a way that makes you comfortable. And I don't know, maybe over the period of getting the uniform on and in rehearsals or somewhere along the way it evolved into what it evolved into. I mean, I read the character wrote a book. Burton Andrus wrote a book. He was a very decorated colonel. He had a great career, and I don't know, somehow it that's how it ended up, and I hope I you know
You've done it
it
justice.
did justice to that to him.